All right, so this is the deal, traders. We've got the US dollar CAD movement taking place at the moment right now. Not a whole bunch. And the reason for that is we've got the news that came out this morning at 10 o'clock. The Bank of England, Bank of Canada, decided to raise their rates 50 basis point. I don't know, somewhat, I think that the market already priced this in. But we're going to go ahead and take a look at the technicals. We're not seeing a whole bunch of movement right now. But I did say prior to this news announcement coming up, I said to traders to watch out for the possibilities of a weaker Canadian dollar. And the reason for that, we've seen this over time as the central banks have started to raise their rates, specifically becoming more aggressive on raising their rates, like 50 basis point. We haven't really seen a very strong move on that currency. We've seen maybe a short-term strong move, but overall it's been bearish. And we've seen the same thing happening right here. We actually look at the chart right here. This is the US dollar CAD chart that I'm seeing right now. It is the 8-hour. I'm going to flip it over to a 15 minutes so we can see a little bit more action. Yes, it looks a little more choppier down below, but this is what it is. We can see right here that the market did drop initially. So this again shows us that we had a little bit of stronger move on the Canadian, but now it's going to go on ahead and weakening. So we've seen a weakening. Now, I want to remind everyone that not only are we seeing Canadian data come out this morning, but we're also seeing some U.S. data as well. And the U.S. data that you reported this morning, they reported some jobs numbers. And let's go take a look and see what that looks like right here. There we go. There we go. We got ISM manufacturing PMI came out positive, 58.1. But then the jobs, this is the jobs opening. And these are jobs that are opening jobs that were reported in the previous month. That was up by 11.4 million. So we do see some job openings open, which means that the job market is becoming more and more active with regards to job opening, offering people new jobs. And so it shows that we could have a little bit of a positive jobs. I'm going to say negative Canadian dollar news based on the rate hike. Maybe the market's saying it's too late. You've left it too late. You should have been more aggressive earlier. But let's take a look and see how this compares to some other charts. So this is definitely showing that US dollar CAD is rallying. This is something we've already projected. Let me go ahead and show you exactly why we're saying this. Take a look right here. Traders, we're in an upward swing. This is the daily time frame. We're in an upward swing. We're looking for price to move up to around about 131.76. I'm going to say those numbers slower. I'm going to say those numbers slower so you can get it. 31.76 is the number to the upside that we're looking for price to move up on US dollar CAD. Now, what we're also looking at here is let's do some comparisons to other CAD crosses. Aussie CAD. Let's take a look at Aussie CAD. Here we go. What are we expecting with Aussie CAD? Well, we're actually expecting Aussie CAD to go ahead and be bullish long term. Now, there is a little concern, and I can understand that the market did trade below this trend line right here, which shows that maybe we're heading further down south. Well, as long as we stay above 89.06, so 0.8906, as long as price stays above that, we should continue to rally all the way up here to 0.9802. Now, if I get actually a little bit more technical here and I bring in a trend line that's going to be a little bit more aggressive from up here down to that high, then take a look what we've got there. That's just a backside retest of this downward trend line. So if you actually play around with your trend lines, you'll actually see that it actually really is just a retest of a downside trend line that it broke out of and now come back to retest. And not even that. Take a look over here on the Aussie CAD. We had price breaking out. We had it actually showing right here that it tried to trade above the previous high, came back in. This is a perfect pattern called the irregular flat. Price moves back down, takes out the low right here, comes into a deeper retracement move. So we're looking at possibly rallying up. Now, what helps us make decisions on this? Okay, this is what's going to help us make decisions. We are going to look at this time frame right here, and we are going to wait for a confirmation. Now, remember, Aussie Cad. If the Canadian's going to get stronger, Aussie Cad will move south. If Canadian's going to get weaker, the Aussie Canadian will then move north. Currently, right now, in the last 15 minutes, you can see we've actually seen a downside move in the Aussie Cad. Now, does this mean that we're bearish overall? No. It just means that we have a short-term sell-off on Aussie Cad, which means that exactly what we said. We said that there could be a possibility that the Canadian dollar might strengthen initially, maybe a few hours, but then eventually I believe, based on not this like wake up this morning, suddenly I'm like, oh, you know what? I believe the CAD's going to go ahead and move bearish. No, this was based on me actually looking at some technicals, comparing it to other setups on different currency pairs, and actually telling us that overall consensus across the board based on technical analysis, we believe that the Canadian dollar might be midterm, long-term bearish. So we're actually expecting this to be a short-term dip right here and then go ahead and move bullish, right? Because the Canadian dollar is going to weaken. Now, if I go to let's go to the 8-hour on this. An 8-hour chart is a good trend-based chart. If I look at the 8-hour right here, this is what I'm seeing right here on the 8-hour. I'm seeing price, and this is very important right here. Price creating this wave 1, right? Then we have an inside wave 1, 2, 3. So we're in this 4th wave consolidation. So traders, this doesn't tell me nothing about the overall trend, or at least the short-term trend, that we are going to go bearish overall. It tells me that the short-term trend is actually just going to dip back down to a level of support because we're range-bound. We're just range-bound. All right, so we're range-bound on this. So which means when we get down to the support level down here, we're then going to look for price to go ahead and move north. All right, so we're looking for an upside move in this. So I'm going to keep a close eye on this particular setup right here and see whether or not we eventually break out of this consolidation right here. Okay, so keep an eye on this. And if I get any sort of signal, buy signals down below at the support level, I'm going to be in there like crazy. All right, so this is going to be where I'm looking at right about here. Now, the market's range bound. We actually did a session just before this session. I did a session called the Pub Hunter Trading Show, and we would look for trade setups. And I actually said to the traders, I said, I am not going to go long, although I'm expecting price to break out. I'm not going to go long on this because we were trading at resistance. And what we do is we buy at support and we sell at resistance. I chose not to trade that because of the news and because I expect the price to break out of that resistance. I chose to stand aside, and if the market does come back down to support right here, give me a perfect signal right here, I'm going to go ahead and enter that trade. Right now, I'm on the sideline. Okay. Now, let's take a look over here. If I really want to look for something short term to get in on the Aussie when it gets down to support, I might have to flip it over down to the 1 hour, maybe even the 15-minute, and look on this chart for any signs of possible entry. If I actually look over here on this chart right here, current right now, I can see that the market's already been indicating that we're looking for sellers. You see the red bar down here? It tells us as price comes up here at the top, I should be looking to sell. And so it's been selling since the top right here. So these are all sell opportunities right here. I've got no buying signals yet, and so I'll wait until the market gets to the support level right here, and let's see if we get any indication that price is going to bounce and go north. If it does, we're there, and we're going to be looking for trades. Now, let's go take a look at another comparison. That's the Aussie Cad. Let's go to EURCAD right here. All right, so EURCAD's showing the same thing, but check this out, okay? The same thing is applying right here. Yeah, we can see that we have, and I'm going to go to 8 hour so we can get the trend on the 8 hour. Yeah, we can see that we actually have a 1, 2, 3 pattern inside this consolidation, right? So we got a 1, 2, 3 right here. So price is actually failing to break above that 0.2 right here, failing to break, which means that we're holding inside this consolidation. Again, would it be a perfect place to start buying right here? Nope, because we're in the middle of the range. So wait for support. Let's go ahead, buy at support. We are getting indications on the larger time frame, like the 8 hour, that says that traders should be looking to buy, because eventually we're going to see a breakout to the upside as price goes higher. Now, we can look at the larger picture, like the daily time frame, and establish context in the market. If I go over here, here's the daily. And so this is the reason why we believe that the EURCAD will go long. It's because of the context of the market based on the daily time frame. Yeah, you can see that we have wave 1, 2, 3 down here, 4 up here, and then price has gone ahead and tested wave 5 down here, which means, traders, we're expecting price to go all the way up here to about 146.35. That is the upside target on the euro Canadian dollar. So when we look at the shorter time frames, like the 1 hour or even the 15-minute time frame, it makes sense for us to want to pay attention to any sort of upside rallies. All right, any support levels that we find, the market confirmed signals, we want to buy at those levels because we believe that price could go up another 1,300 pips right here and chase after the fourth wave target, which is based on my daily time frame. You see, traders, it's very important to understand what the larger picture is telling us, so that when we do go down to the lower time frames and we do these intraday trades or maybe these week-to-week trades, we've got a little bit more of an inside information about what the bigger picture is telling us, because that's going to drive the market in that direction. That's where the, let's call it the smart money, is going to push the price to. All right, now let's go take a look at it again. I'm not going to just stop there at the CAD, the EURCAD. I want to go to something really wicked, and that is, of course, CADJPY. We've seen the strong rally in the JPY crosses because of the weakness out in JPY, and we saw how price has gone all the way up here to the top. Now, if those are for those that are trading CADJPY, what is it that we need to look out for? What do we need to get excited about, and what do we need to be concerned about? Well, let's take a look right here. As we break it down on this daily, we did have a wave 1, 2 right here. So I'm going to go ahead and mark it off right here, 1, 2. But then we had this inside structure. Here is wave 1. Here's 2. Then price moved up here to 3. All right. This is 4 right down here. Very shallow retracement, which is normal in a very strong rally. And so which means that we could be heading north. Now, let me stop right there. Heading north doesn't necessarily mean we're going to go long another 300-400 pips going long. It just means that price is going to test this high. Now, there's two things that can happen. We can have what we call an irregular fat. Because this is a fourth wave structure, we can have the market doing something like this, where it goes up, takes out the high, and then just simply works its way back to a deeper retracement, and then takes off bullish again. Or we can actually have price moving to an inside fifth wave, which is going to be up here at the top. We have a fifth wave move, and then price is going to come back and take out that fourth wave low again before it takes off and rallies up. So the one thing that we must understand here on this particular setup right here is this rally could very much be a short-term rally. Now, it could be a rally that could stall here at this level. At the 118 right here is about 105. It could stall here just between 105 and 102. Let's call it 103.50. So it could do this right there and then come back in. In fact, if you know anything about patterns like harmonic patterns, you could actually spot a possible cipher pattern setting up right here. There could be easy a cipher pattern setting up right here. Now, I'm going to go ahead and show you exactly what that looks like. Cipher pattern would look like something like this. All right, let's pull that down. Let's go do this right here. That could be even an 𝗀𝗂𝗯𝘀𝗰𝗍𝗄 pattern. There is a cipher pattern here as well. Let's see here, I'd probably have to go a little bit higher or lower. Let's take a look here. Well, there's actually a butterfly pattern right here. Butterfly pattern setting up. So if it goes up a little higher, we could set up a butterfly pattern right there. But I know that if the cipher pattern, I'll have to get the exact, there's an 𝗀𝗂𝗯𝘀𝗀𝗃 as well. There's a shark pattern setting up right here. So you can see that there could be a lot of bearish patterns setting up right here that can bring price down a little further down south. So the cipher pattern, I think I might have to go ahead and get I think the B dropped a little low for a cipher pattern, but But there it is there. You can see the 𝗀𝗂 pattern can go all the way up here to the 118 and still remain a bearish 𝗀𝗂 pattern. So again, once we take out the A, then we are setting up a possibility of a bearish pattern that can drive price down a little further down south. Now, I'm not just looking at harmonic patterns for an indication for price to move down, but I'm going to be looking at a sort of like irregular flat patterns. I'm going to look for divergence, negative divergence, all of that good stuff will go ahead and give us a good indication that price is going to move down. In fact, speak about divergence. Take a look on here. Take a look at my oscillator. We've already seen some highs up here. The oscillator is starting to move back up to that overbought condition. But what's going to happen right here is price is going to trade above. And if we get up to this level right here and starts dipping again, we're now going to see price and momentum disagreeing, which is going to drive price back down south again. So a lot of good things right here. So I'm not concerned about the CAD JPY. I'm actually getting very excited about it, because if I'm right about the fact that the CAD is going to weaken in the midterm, long term, then that means that this is going to be, once again, just a short-term rally, and then price is going to go ahead and dip back down south again. So I'm real excited about this. Now, we've got a couple of traders asking us to go take a look at the pound JPY, take a look at the Aussie US dollar, as well as take a look at gold, and of course Aussie Cad, which we will go ahead and take a look at those pairs. So absolutely. But I've seen 3 traders requesting pound JPY. Clearly some people are in on pound JPY. So let's switch it up a little bit. Let's move away from the CAD, because I think we've got an overall consensus about what's going to happen with the CAD based on the news that came out today. Again, I think it's going to be a short-term strength and then weakness on the CAD. So I'm not concerned. Now we're going to just give it time to go ahead and play out and see whether or not we are right with our speculation.
Interested in seeing our trades live as they happen? By joining the A1 Trading Discord, you'll get a notification every time one of our traders enters a position. Each trade we share comes with an entry price, a stop loss, and most importantly, a full breakdown of why the trade was taken. Learn alongside our experienced traders, join our active chat room, and ask your questions in our coaching webinars. Between our team of active traders, we trade forex pairs, commodities like gold and oil, crypto, and stocks. By joining the group, you'll be able to keep up with all of it. Sign up today using the link in the description, and don't forget to use our promo code listed below for a special subscriber discount. Thanks for watching, and see you inside.